Good day and welcome to the U Lounge, the home of the Nevis Patriots. And guess what? We are here with Mr. Uday Nayak. Uday, good afternoon and welcome once again to this special interview after you have first acquired the Nevis Patriots. Give us a little ideal breakdown of your own personal background.
Well, firstly, thank you very much for inviting me to speak. I just arrived a few minutes ago, and like always, it's always a pleasure coming back home. So basically, it was cricket that brought me here, and it's cricket that made me invest in what we can see now as the U Lounge. It's a reality now after a few years. We feel that I feel personally very close to this island. I mean, from the very moment I arrived here, there was a little kind of bonding that it was almost like I'm coming back home, and this was what drove me to make this investment in this island. St. Kitts and Nevis is now home for me. I personally, I grew up in India. I grew up in Bombay. Then I've moved to the U.S. and then on to back to London, and I've established my business in London. And I co-founded this company along with my partner Nirvan Veerasamy, who is a Mauritian national. He's also from another island, slightly bigger, but from another island. And together we have grown this company to what it is today. Primarily our business is actually in aircraft leasing. We sort of moved on to other things like the U Lounge from that core product when we first set up our first private terminal in Mauritius. And this is the second terminal that we have. So we are not going for quantity, we go for quality. In terms of aircraft leasing, we have some excellent lessees. We have aircraft leased to Emirates, Sri Lankan Airlines. So we've got a good mix of aircraft, and we are growing that business quite organically, and but a little bit slowly over the next few years. And hopefully we should see further growth in the next couple of years. So that's the business background for me. In terms of my interest in St. Kitts, I came here on I don't know if you're aware of it, but I happened to come here on the very first day that the Warner Stadium was open.
That would have been West Indies versus India.
India, that's right. And I came to watch that game because a friend of mine invited me. He lives in St. Martin, so he said, would you want to come for this game? I said, sure. And I fly to all sorts of places just to watch a game and then fly back in a couple of days. So I was in London, so I said, all right, I'll come. So I flew to St. Martin, and my friend and I flew down here, watched the game, and we went back. So and during that time, I happened to be talking about our product with the former Prime Minister, Prime Minister Douglas, and he said, why don't you try and put something like this here? Because at that time we had just launched our product, the U Lounge in Mauritius. And I said, well, I love this place, so any opportunity to invest, I'd like to do that. So that's how I came about to this island.
Well, you've come from what we'll call cricket crazy India, 1.2 billion people, where everybody wakes up to look at cricket. What drove you to get involved in CPL and first of all to be able to purchase the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots?
It's very interesting, actually. The opportunity first came to me a few years ago when CPL just launched the product, and I was offered the Barbados team, and I had a look at it. I thought this through, and then I said, Barbados is not home. I mean, this is home. I said, but they didn't have a team over here. So I did tell them, I said, look, if you ever decide to have a team in St. Kitts and Nevis, do let me know. And otherwise, till then, I have no interest. And they said, why don't you do the Antigua team? I said, it's quite close by. I said, we don't want to, divert our attention, and we're quite happy with, St. Kitts and Nevis. So if you ever decide to do something here, let me know. I left it at that. And then a few years later, they called us and said, we are going to have a team here. Would you be interested? So that's how this whole thing came about.
We're looking ahead because everything happens so quickly that it really did not give you time to be able to organize. But at least coming out of the 2015 Lime-Caribbean Caribbean Premier League draft, St. Kitts and Nevis seem to have just stepped up there based on the amount of players and the world-class players that we've been able to acquire. And straight away, we're looking at the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015. You see Shahid Afridi, you see Martin Guptill from New Zealand, you see Sohail Tanvi, you see Marlon Samuels from the West Indies. What are your future plans as we look now to be able to establish the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots? I know you have a 5-year vision plan in your mind, but we're going to take it one step at a time. Let's look at the first year.
The first year, like you said, we came in rather late in the game, and we were basically had only a short period of time to do our homework and put our team together, core team together to start looking at players and who we wanted and how this draft would work. Timing was another problem. I mean, they had the draft in Jamaica, and we've been very busy over the last few months, and I said, oh no, I said, the draft is on the 5th in Jamaica. How am I going to make it? We actually flew in Jamaica in the morning, and in the evening we flew out. Just as soon as the draft was done, we just got up and we went to the airport and went back to New York because we were right in the middle of a rather large fundraising program in New York. So just before that, we actually started putting a few core people. I managed to bring on board Richard Berridge, who's a Kittitian, and he's been appointed as the manager of our team. And we started evaluating a potential coach, and we came upon Eric Simons, who's from South Africa. A very good guy, very precise in what he's doing, and he knows his stuff. And between him and Andre Kolik, who's the assistant coach of the West Indies team, so we managed to bring in some really good initial core guys who can help us to put a team together. And then we had to strategize and put, we say what if scenarios. If he goes first, what do we get if he goes second? So we were prepared with almost all the answers, and we had on our list the top 5 people that we wanted. And I have to tell you, we are very fortunate that we got all the 5 people that we wanted. We had to make we had to put Marlon Samuels on, on 100,000 because we wanted the 150.
Which would be the number one, because you had the number one pick.
Right, because that would give us the number 1 pick. And we picked Shahid Afridi. Now, Shahid Afridi is a 2020 specialist, and I'm hoping that he can bring some good firepower into the team. Marlon Samuel is an amazing person. He's he's done very well for the West Indies also in the World Cup so far, except that one occasion when he went out for a duck. But he's very cool, and he's constant. So he just plows away and puts in runs. So we felt that he was good. Then Martin Guptill was a gift, because the third person at that stage, when we wanted him, but we felt we're going to lose him now because we had him in mind, but I can't remember which was the other team, but the other team took Malinga.
Malinga.
That gave us the option then to pick
Guptill
straight away. So it didn't take us even 2 seconds. The minute he said what is your decision? I said, well, we got so that was that. So basically, we got all the people we wanted. So we'll start building this core team now, and we've got lovely people. We got some. Actually, we got from the Jack Taylor from St. Kitts and Tony DeWillet from Nevis. So they got some local.
And you also got, you were able to sneak out a couple of players from Trinidad and Tobago Red Steel.
That's right.
Because Evan Lewis was the emerging player in 2014.
Right. Yes.
And Nicholas Puran, who's also got some potential.
He had an injury issue,
Yes.
but we felt that it was a gamble, because whether he will be ready by then or not. So we said we'll go with it. We'll take that gamble, and just if he's not available, then we'll get a choice of the next player to pick up on. But I think he will be fine, and he will come together in time for the game.
Now, when will the team be unveiled to St. Kitts and Nevis? I know that you're having a training camp here, which begins on the 17th of June. Would
That's
you
right.
have a marketing ploy over the next couple of months to build up? In fact, what is unique about this situation is that we have the St. Kitts Music Festival, and then we have CPL right after.
Yes.
And already after the elections, everybody has been buzzing about the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots.
Mhm.
People hearing the names of the players, everybody is now getting behind their team.
We are we're going to do a launch now, very shortly, so we can start bringing in the uniforms, merchandise, and put get the whole country behind us, because we have to work as one unit. This is not our team playing in isolation. It's the whole country going to be playing the game. So we're going to be putting together all the required merchandise. Everything we'll try and bring it in well before the
CPL itself.
The CPL is started. So the team can start, actually we'll start the team building, and we're already starting to have calls between all the players. We're starting to bring them into into conference calls. And Richard is doing that very well, putting the whole team together, starting to talk to them, and then we'll actually start having calls once every 2 weeks initially, even from now. So and the logo has been launched, as you know, on the social media.
Yes.
You've seen that.
Yes.
And what did you think of the logo?
I thought it was fascinating. In fact, there were lots of talk, even about the name of the team. Folks in St. Kitts and Nevis thought they would have been able to get an opportunity, but because of the CPL rules, again, the window didn't allow you to be able to generate that. But whatever it is, I think people in St. Kitts and Nevis are going to rally.
Right.
And I think the third edition of the Lima Caribbean Premier League, St. Kitts and Nevis is touted as one of the teams to look out for.
Absolutely.
In the championship.
Absolutely, I think so. Yeah, I'm sorry that we didn't get it. I wanted to get some sort of a consensus from the whole country to select a name. But like I said, the CPL wanted certain things at certain times, and we were very short on time, so we had to make a decision. And we felt that the Patriots was a powerful enough name that together, St. Kitts and Nevis, we are patriotic people, and we are going to win this tournament.
Now, let's look ahead. And I know even before you acquired the team, I know we were in talks of putting together a grassroots program for St. Kitts and Nevis, boys and girls. Now that you have ignited yourself by having the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, give us some idea in terms of how we're going to look at that.
Actually, it's very interesting that you asked that question, because I'm sorry I'm referring to this, but because it was it's there. Because we are, basically what I would like to do is reignite the grassroots. And I would like to discuss with the Minister of Sports when I do meet him about the possibility of us having a tournament, a 2020 tournament within the island, in the island itself, between not just between St. Kitts and Nevis, but different clubs within the
which is communities.
Communities,
Yes.
So that we can start a grassroots program to find and capture new, upcoming stars. We need new superstars, and I'm sure we can produce one. I'm also of the view that I would like to build a cricket academy over here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So it will. I've already spoken to a friend of mine in India who owns a cricket academy, and I would like to bring him here to help me launch this. So that's something that I've already started working on, and as soon as I have the opportunity to meet I've just walked in, as you know, and as soon as I have the opportunity to meet with the new Minister of Sport, I will discuss that with them.
Now, you also have links with IPL, and St. Kitts and Nevis franchise would not only be for CPL, and so I know the Warner Park Cricket Stadium, which is home for the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, you'll be looking down the road to try and see if you can come up with a couple of other initiatives as to how best we could be able to have a partnership between India and St. Kitts and Nevis.
I have started working on that already. Unfortunately, India, the BCCI
Yes.
does not allow its players to play internationally in tournaments, in any Premier Leagues outside of India. So it's very difficult, and any contracted player is not allowed to play out. But I'm trying to have a discussion. I will be going sooner or later to India to have discussions with.
In fact, we have a new president now, so that Mr. Dalmaya, so that might maybe give you maybe even a better opportunity.
Correct.
But why is that so, Uday? Why we have so many restrictions on the Indian players? Are they the most wanted players in the world?
Well, I think it's not that they were most wanted players. They because of the sheer population of the country, they have a huge fan following. And and there are people who follow players rather than teams.
Okay.
It's not it's like if Yuvraj moves from one team to another, a lot of his fans will move from that team to the other one because they follow you don't find that in the English Premier League. There may be Chelsea supporters, and Man U supporters, or and Liverpool supporters, but they support whoever comes in. The team supporters. They don't because Beckham has moved from one team to another. They don't follow. They don't change their loyalty. But in India, for cricket, it does happen. To a great extent, the people follow their heroes. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't know why they don't allow their players to play outside, but I'm hoping sooner or later they will at least allow some of their players who are not.
And maybe we could look at somebody like a Vernon who maybe might not make an
Yes,
Indian team
exactly.
again
Yeah.
to get an opportunity to be able to come down.
Yeah.
But I know that's your main goal, and I know that's the CPL goal. In fact, I know the management of CPL, Pete Russell and Damon O'Donoghue, would be very pleased if they could maybe even have that breakthrough to even just get a couple of Indian players, like you rightly said. Some folks who maybe would not play for India again, maybe
If they can
allowed
come
and
yes,
play in the league.
exactly.
That in itself would help.
Yeah.
But as your final message to the nation, we have the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots team, so we know that. The third edition of the Lima Caribbean Premier League is here, and we know your first game, based on if everything goes all right after your pre-training camp, is against the St. Lucia Zooks in St. Lucia. That's a long way off still, but at the same time, you have to start psyching the nation.
Absolutely.
We also have 10 games here in St. Kitts and Nevis, which is 6 neutral games,
Yeah.
and St. Kitts and Nevis will have 4 home games.
Correct.
So the support in itself has to be really rallied up. And when you look at the first edition of the Lima Caribbean Premier League, where every night you had a sold-out crowd, and you didn't have a team, you can just imagine now having your own team, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots, what it's going to mean.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to this excitement. Cricket in the West Indies is exciting in the best of times. I mean, it's like nowhere else in the world. I mean, okay, you get a lot of in India. There's a big fervor about it, but here they support the game, and it doesn't matter who hits the four, they'll applaud. It doesn't matter if it's the Indian team who's hit the floor or the West Indian team, they'll still applaud. Well, as I say, you very often in India you find that if the opposition team has hit a 4 or a 6, the whole place goes silent. And it's like, what happened? It was a fantastic 6. Come on, applaud that. So you don't have that. But here it's just that the excitement, the fervor of the game. It's quite interesting.
You've been around the world looking at a lot of cricket. Who's your favorite all-time cricketer that you've ever seen? And I'm going to trick your little brain right now.
You know, it's difficult for me to say this, but I think being an Indian supporter from birth, I grew up there, is the West Indies cricketers play a fantastic game. You know, I just love the way from the days of Wesley Hall and Griffiths and Vivian Richards and all these guys. It's an amazing game that they played. It's just exciting. It's a very exciting game. Of course, Chris Gayle, can destroy a team on his own, leave alone anybody else.
I guess you enjoyed the double hundred, right?
I was watching that. I was watching that. I was in Johannesburg
and he's owed you some runs for such a long time.
Yeah, I was in Johannesburg at that time, and I had a meeting, and I told the guys, can we change the time, because I don't think I'm coming right now. I need to watch this game. It's just amazing. I mean, it really destroyed the opposition, and this is what the West Indies players can do. They are so good, charismatic. I mean, there are good, exciting Indian players as well, but the West Indian players are really quite amazing.
Your final words to the nation as we build up the campaign to get the entire nation, whether home or abroad, to come on out and support the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots?
Well, what I would like to ask the nation is to come and support us, because we need your support. We need you, because without you we cannot win. And it's not hollow words. It's I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I want to go into this tournament with the support of every single St. Kitts and Nevis citizen, whether it's a baby or a person who's a senior citizen. I don't care. I want each one of them behind me, because I want, only with your support we can make this happen.
Thank you very much today.
Thank you.
We're going all the way to make sure that for the Lima Caribbean Premier League 2015, the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots is sending a message to the entire world that we want to win the third edition of the Lima Caribbean Premier League. You heard it right here at the U Lounge, the home of the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots for the 2015 Lima Caribbean Premier League. Come on out and support Team St. Kitts and Nevis. It's the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots. Make sure that you book your dates to come to St. Kitts and Nevis. Get your tickets. Go online once the CPL has announced the times to get your tickets in St. Kitts and Nevis. There are 10 matches. Go on out and get your tickets. Be there supporting your team, St. Kitts Nevis Patriots. Thank you very much.